everyone, I'm Professor Julia Rybinska and I would like to start a new project about cultures. Today we're going to talk about culture shock. People, when they move to another country, they experience this throughout the world. In my personal experience when I went to India or Hong Kong or China, first steps with which I tracked, it was like, cultural shock. There are 4 stages people overcome during the cultural shock. The first stage is the honeymoon. Then you come abroad and you see only overwhelmed with positive impressions, you see only positive stuffs, and you like everything which surrounds you. People, food, scenery. Then after the first stage, you come slowly to the frustration stage. In my experience, that's the most shocking stage and maybe the most overwhelming stage and mind-boggling stage of cultural shock. As you experience and wrestling with different disadvantages in different cultures, it may be really trifle steps. For example, you dislike food you ordered in the restaurant, or you missed your boss, something really small but which irritates you a lot to a certain extent. I tend to remember my experience when I was in the US before working as a camp counselor with kids. Lessons were in handy a lot because we tried to get in touch with the culture and how we need to behave in foreign environment, and actually that moved us to the next stage, the third one, adjustment. This is when you get used to the culture, you try to develop more understanding to the people, you try to see the world in different stage of development, and you understand this idiom, when in Rome, do as Romans do. That's quite easy. And after some people require like months or years of wrestling, people accept the fact they are living abroad, and actually this is how they can adjust to another culture. So let's try to recap everything. The first stage is the stage of cultural shock is honeymoon. The second stage is frustration. The third stage is the stage which is called adjustment. And the fourth stage is the stage which is called acceptance. I recommend you to read before going abroad, to read a very famous book from Foreign to Familiar by Sarah Lanier, which is giving you more understanding of living in hot culture or cold culture. So people, according to the author, people who live in the hot climate, they are more sociable, they are like group-oriented, and they are communicative. People who are living in the cold cultures, they are more reserved and they don't work together in one community. Gumilov, long time ago, told, and his quote was about mentality of the nations. He claimed that geographical position has very vivid impact towards the mentality and thought development in people's mind. In the book, you can track through many pieces of advice how to go abroad, and very significant and valuable as for me, and which I used in my personal practical life. First, before going abroad, you need to find an interpreter, so-called cultural interpreter. This is the person or advisor or monitor who would help you to adjust to the foreign culture with personal advice. So how they overcame their troubles, obstacles, how their picture of honeymoon changed when they came to the country. The second very significant point is that you need to read a lot. Of course, you need to make research beforehand, in advance, and know what you expect from another country. So I would call it so kind of research before going abroad. The third, it's very important when you're coming back home, it's called reverse cultural shock. There are lots of research done in this sphere, and people suggest you to adjust when you come back home to your natural environment, because you can also experience this reverse shock. And many other pieces of advice which you could track and meet in my new book, which is called Julia's Journeys, The Diary of Cultures. So where I would recommend you lots of my personal advice from the foreign world, and I would send you to the world of adjustment and how to have acceptance with the foreign culture. And together from foreign to familiar, we will try to fight with you and go through many obstacles. If you would like to know more information, please follow me in the next series, because I would take interview from Americans who are living in Ukraine. That's quite interesting. You will enjoy it. See you next time.